students need today, fundamentally in academics, is not information. They need inspiration and vision. They can get information from the library as well as Google. Once they're inspired and hardworking, the technology and coaching available to them will help them and excel in whatever they choose to study. With the technology and the tools available, teachers can help students master concepts in math and science and other fields like never before. We need to keep asking, what are some ways to get students to be excited about learning? Teachers can provide tools with the students with the tools they need to have a vision and necessary inspiration. We need teachers more than ever before to inspire students and then to give them the information that they need. But we need to remember that we live in a unique time in history where information is readily available. Welcome, my friends. My name is Amos Tarfa, and I want to talk briefly today about graduating debt-free from college. Maybe you have a high school student, or you know someone who is thinking about what to do with their lives after high school, or maybe you have a child who is in middle school who's already thinking about college. Well, let's talk about how to graduate debt-free from college. There's a few videos in this series that will be coming out, but I want to start this video by establishing the premise of number one, that it is possible for that to be very normal for you and your family to graduate debt-free from college. However, it comes at a cost, of course. Number one, you have to set your mind in realizing that I'm going for a purpose. I'm going for a reason. So before I dive further into this video, I want to do something unique. I want to share a few books that can help you as you think about what it takes to graduate debt-free from college. There are some very good books out there, and there are some good ways to go about it. So let's look at a few of these books. The first one is by Anthony O'Neill, called Debt-Free Degree. He goes through and he talks about different areas and different approaches, and he starts from, like, he talks about the freshman year, the sophomore year, and so on and so forth. Very good book, Debt-Free Degree. There are other books that I recommend, books that will focus more on the alternatives to getting the typical college degree. If you have someone who is in high school as far as like a freshman or sophomore, maybe getting them a Clep testing book is a good idea, because that is one of the ways that you can graduate debt-free from college. So some good books to keep in mind if you want to graduate debt-free. Other books that we can bring into this is to help us think about education differently and in a unique way. The Thomas Jefferson Education. Very good book talking about teaching a generation of leaders for the 21st century. Okay, before we go further, I've given you some books now. There's more that will come later in the video. But I want to talk briefly about the broad, like, let's just look at it from top-down approach. And then I will actually make all these videos about the debt-free college into a course on my Teachable website, which if you go to that Teachable website sometime next week, for this course, it'll be available. But right now, I do have courses on Teachable, and you can find them in the link below. So let's talk about the big picture. Number one, in order to graduate debt-free from college, it depends on when I meet a person and have this conversation. Because if somebody is a senior in college right now versus somebody who has graduated versus someone who's in middle school, they're in different phases of life. So it is hard to answer everyone's concerns in one video. So let's just talk about a few things. Number one of the reasons or one of the ways to go to college debt-free, for your bachelor's especially, that's what I'm focused on right now, is one of the ways you can do that is to first have a goal. What is the goal? And why are you doing what you're doing? That's very important. If you have a fifth grader who's telling you every day, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a doctor. Well, in order to be a doctor in the United States, you have to get a 4-year degree first. So you know they want a 4-year degree. So what should you do at this time? Well, here's the thing. You can begin to give them tools to help them prepare for Clep testing in as early as middle school. Clep tests are designed by College Board, the same organization that makes the SAT test. And if you take a Clep test, for example, for economics, and you get a score that is a passing score, you get that credit at many institutions in the United States. So I repeat, if you take a Clep test for a subject like college math or economics and you pass, you get the credit. I've known people who graduated college by the age of 20. They were done by 19 or 20, debt-free. And that was one of the approaches they used, is they clept out of many courses. Now, you can clep up to 60 credits, for example, that could be transferred to certain institutions. 60 credits. Do you know how many credits you need to graduate from a typical college? 120 credits. You can clep the first 2 years of your college. Wow, that's amazing. So it's important that we remember the Clep test is available, and people can use that as one way to graduate debt-free by reducing the amount of time they spend in college right? So you're Clepping. The Clep tests are way cheaper. And there are websites that can help you prepare for the Clep test, like modernstates.org. That's one resource that you can use. So for example, there is a Western Civilization Clep test. So this book here is the history of Christianity and Western civilizations. That's what this book is. You take this book, you review it, and then you go and you use a book like the College Board Clep Test Preparation book. If you combine those two, you work hard, you get the credit. Now when you go to the college you want to go to, you tell them, hey, here's my Clep testing results. Oh, here are my results. Here are the tests I've Clept out of. And believe it or not, many colleges will then take that, give you the appropriate credit where it meets the requirement in their university, and you move on. You already have 3 credits, just like that. And imagine if you did that for more and more courses. So again, if you have someone who's in middle school, generally they're not yet working a job. Generally, they might have free time in the summer. Why don't you get them Clep testing materials? That is one way that we can help students graduate debt-free from our universities. So number one key way is through Clep testing, but that's tied back to the vision. So before we even look at number one, which is Clep testing, the question was, what do you want to do with your life? And that is a question that I want to dissect in the next segment of this video. Thank you for watching that video. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you see every time I upload a video. Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. And if you want to support the work we're doing, please use the links that are provided also. Thank you for your support and have a blessed day.